Hey, good morning, guys. It's January 16th. I'm still wearing shorts. Big week for me this week. Got my virtual marathon, New York City marathon medal that I ran at the end of October. I got the sweet buff as well. So it's pretty neat. If you have a goal to run this year and you find your races are being canceled, look into these virtual marathons. It's neat to get a medal. I mean, it's just a finisher's medal. I think I finished like 8 or 9,000th out of 16,000. It doesn't really matter, but it's good to help for goals. I mean, I achieved my running goal last year despite missing a couple months of running. And a lot of that was because I had that goal at the end of the year to run this. And so check that out. It's kind of neat. Excuse me. And if with the medal and everything and Strava account, probably like $80 or $90 I had to pay for everything. So it's cheaper than running a real marathon when you consider travel and things like that. So it's something to consider. I recommend it. And maybe this year will be that year that we all do that. Anyways, I'm in my trail that I made with I was able to borrow a skid steer just as the house is being built. So it's a perimeter trail around our house. It's a nice walk. Yeah. So anyways, I feel like saying this a lot, but if you're feeling sad, stressed, overwhelmed, alone, you are justified in that, and you are okay to feel that way, because this is a long haul and we're all going through different things, and you might not be aware of it all the time, but there's like an extra burden for all of us, and sometimes it's good just to say that out loud. I've sent a few text messages a little bit more than I usually do, because I usually never, unless I'm just communicating. I'm trying to do that more to people. This week, we sent a letter into the sports radio morning show guys, just saying thanks for keeping us entertained. They didn't have any hockey to talk about for probably 10 months and not much else, but they did really fun, just non-sport stuff that I think a lot of people really appreciated. I know we did, and we listened to it. I listened to it every morning on the way to work, even though it's a short drive, and take the boys to school, and sometimes we have it on in the house. And even Barbara thought a lot of it was pretty funny. But I sent them a letter, said thanks, and they ended up reading it on the air. But yeah, I was thinking about those guys, and like, often you can follow someone or a celebrity, or be online and read about someone. You almost know more about them and how they're dealing with stuff than you do about your neighbors or your coworkers or even family members. Which is sort of how that's all designed. Those people are kind of marketing themselves. But yeah, this was a reminder to be like, check in with people genuinely. And maybe this is a time where you can't be with people that you really need to make sure, even when I can be with people, maybe I should check in with them more. But don't underestimate your impact you can have on just saying thank you to someone, or complimenting them on something. Yeah, and I just wanted to acknowledge another thing this week. This lady in the States, Lisa, that was executed. I don't know if you guys read about that. Heartbreaking, her life, her story. Obviously, she committed a crime that was really bad, and the law, at least in this time, decided that the best thing would be to eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth with her. She has major mental illness and trauma from a life of abuse. So she had a life of abuse, then she killed someone, very, very awful, and then they threw her in jail, and then they killed her. So that's her life. That's the message we have as a society to people when you're hurting, is if you do something wrong, we'll just kill you. And it really is heartbreaking. And I think a lot of these stories just they just kind of flow by, and her memory will be with loved ones and will go on in history. But I just wanted to acknowledge that. I thought that was wrong, and it was the first time they'd done that since 1953 for a woman. And almost every other case since then, they've taken into account trauma. But this time is different, and I'm not laying blame on anyone in particular. Maybe I could. Maybe it's the current administration kind of getting their last say. I don't know. But I just wanted to say that was wrong, and it's heartbreaking. And it's not what a society does to people that are hurting. Anyways, that's a downer. But it's good to think about people that are going through just junk right now. My mom texted and said, her cousin, her aunt had ALS, and now her cousin is diagnosed. And so I just texted, that's sad. That's all I could. I didn't have any other words. It's gonna suck to go through that. But as society, we should be thinking of each other and holding each other up, rehabilitating people, doing what we can medically, but we don't, and that sucks. So do what you can in your community, lift each other up, make a meal for someone that might need a meal. My sister-in-law and mother-in-law get a lot of groceries for us, and I really appreciate that. Those little things. Anyways, hope you guys have a good week. If you set some goals for this year, let me know. Yeah.